Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Carl and Charlene. It is another wonderful Tuesday, and the weeks are just speeding by. Next thing you know, we're going to be out of March, guys. The Q1 is coming to an end, and I hope you have been doing all you can for this Q1 part of the session. But we got another fly episode today. We want to thank everybody in advance for tuning in to watch us live. Please tell us where you're tuning in from. Global show. You know we want to know where you're tuning in from, where you're checking us out from. Also, for those who are going to catch us on the hashtag replay, let us know where you're tuning in from. I always come back through, check the comments, check the questions, dive in with your questions. Let's join this discussion. Let's see what you think about what we're talking about. Also, let us know how we're grooving with you, because this is Real Talk where real recognize real. And I don't do this by myself, as you guys know. I got my cohort, my hostess with the mostest. Come on in, Charlene. Talk to the people. What's going on?
What's going on, folks? What's up? Good morning.
Good morning. You know she had to get her started in. You know how we do, y'all. Y'all know how we do. Yes. We got the globalness
UK.
checking in this morning. We got the UK
Yes,
chiming in with us
they
over there
starting
across the pond. We appreciate you coming over there. That's my little
I think it's
accent.
like lunchtime or so.
Yeah, something like that. I gotta catch it. We
Going
got Asheville,
into
North
that
Carolina.
late morning.
I'm loving it, North
Hey.
Carolina. I was down in Charlotte for about 7 years, loving that NC area. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. We
Yes.
got an awesomeness. How was your weekend first? Let me chime in with that. What did you do for this weekend?
My weekend was relaxing.
Oh, I see you took a
As you
deep
can see, I did
breath.
my hair.
Oh, we fly no baseball
I'm
caps
going
today.
back.
That's what
I'm going
talking
back
about.
into my twist ups.
Oh,
You guys
Lord,
see
we
my
twist it
hair,
up.
right? So
Natural.
every morning, I got me and her got used to each other, so we good now. So now she can go back up.
Okay.
I don't gotta worry about her no more.
Okay. Yo,
But,
this is where it get real, y'all. We talk about everything.
Yeah,
We talk about everything.
it's been a good weekend. I also was able to just get offline for a bit and get some things popping. So I got a couple of new things on the horizon. I got some client work that I'm also doing. So I got some meetings today. I can't wait. Get some feedback. It's always nerve wracking, like, but it's just about communication and fine tuning. So that's no issue. But yeah, and of course, for our show, we've been getting our podcast ready.
Yes.
So we can have that on and popping. And of course, our YouTube channel and our LinkedIn page.
Yes.
We've been working on that, getting some clips together for you guys. So you have that. So if you have not become part of our LinkedIn and
What you
YouTube
ain't
family,
doing?
that's what I'm saying. It's realtalklivepodcast.com/YouTube. And for those on the LinkedIn area,
come on, check us out.
realtalklivepodcast.com/LinkedIn. And I see y'all clicking the links because trust, I'm looking.
She looking.
And
She looking.
We
She
have,
got the
we
report
have,
cards.
Come on now, we have over 100 and so clicking. So I'm gonna need y'all to keep clicking and not just click and go over there, but click and subscribe, follow. Come on now.
Subscription is free.
Because we got some big
charging.
things that we need to do. So that's why we need your support. We need to get over 100 on both channels so we can make some moves, and definitely not just stream live, but communicate, set things up. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, this is my home girl. I love her to pieces. This is Miss Attorney at Law,
got the
Sharon
lawness in
Mappy.
there.
I
That's
love
what I'm
her.
talking about. Christine, thank you for chiming in.
What's up, Christine? I'm gonna see them on Wednesday.
Christine out there on Oregon. She out there on the western coast.
I see Mr. Russ. I'm gonna say y'all. But either way, okay, we sidetracking. We digress. We do that sometimes. But we have an amazing conversation and an amazing woman, because I just met her today. But I love her already because she's like, shellstation.com. That is her website. First of all, I saw that and I was like, oh my God, I love that. But it's really about being unapologetically you. We've been talking about this for a long time, and we've been really trying to get into, everybody's on social media, everybody's trying to create their brand, everybody's trying to create their voice, but how can you do that if you don't know who you are? And once you get to know who you are, how can you really showcase that and know that you're going to have people who don't like it, but you don't have to feel sorry about it? So how can you do it unapologetically? And that's the conversation we're going to have today with Michelle.
Yes, definitely. We definitely gonna have that conversation and just talk about the just being you. I think sometimes we look at that
Mhm.
term and me with the words, right? We get on those words and we tend to let them kind of like guide our description of
Yes,
application.
yes.
And being unapologetically is not sass. It's not being just kind of because it has a connotation of being, oh, they unapologetic, oh, they this, they that,
Or rude. You don't got to
neck
be rude about it.
roll, rudeness, eye rolls,
But is that
like
really just mainly for our folks? Because we can go into
I,
a whole
I
nother
yeah,
side. We're
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna do
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. I
Not
ain't gonna do
today.
that. I ain't gonna do that
But
to
is
the
it just
people.
because of us? Because I heard, oh, you sassy, really, or you
Yes,
just
and I
being
think
truthful?
people get those confused. They get those terminologies and they marry a lot of them with their perception based upon what it
Hmm.
is. And it's just really meaning that you being yourself without apologizing. When you
Right,
break down the
right.
terminology of the words, it's not saying I'm sassy. It's just saying I'm not going to apologize for being me. And now me
Hmm.
don't always float with everybody else, but I'm not going to
Yes,
apologize for being me. But we getting into it. Oh, we got Bangladesh in the house. We just rocking it this morning. We rocking it. So let's bring it
okay,
on without any further ado.
yes,
The Shell Station. She gonna be coming to Shell across the globe, y'all. She gonna be traveling. So I'm so excited
yes.
about
You
that.
got
Like,
big things about to happen to
yeah,
y'all.
yeah,
You
we
you
got
guys
big
better
things about to
follow
go.
and click those notifications.
Hit that bell, hit that bell. Anybody come on the show, hit that bell. Follow them, follow,
Yes,
see what they doing. Not Clubhouse follow, but follow them and engage. Yeah, that's a shout out to Clubhouse. A shout out, but follow them, engage because they got great stuff going on. You can see, we
yes, yes,
show them, we
yes.
showcasing them. Check them out and see. Well, good morning, Shell. What's going
Good
on?
Oh
morning.
my gosh. Good morning, Charlene and Carl. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Oh my God, I'm feeling the energy this morning. Like, really, you're right. We just met. Like 10 minutes ago. Uh, and like the vibe, like the things that we've already connected on
Hmm.
is so powerful. Just listening to the way that you were introducing the topic and talking about being unapologetically you. Oh my God, I have so many thoughts on this. Like,
Come with it.
is it
Come
okay
with it.
for me to just
Come
dive
with it.
right
Of
in?
Come time
Oh my
in.
God.
course.
It's about you, girlfriend. Let's go.
So I can say for me, I am somebody that is always been quite sarcastic. Not sassy necessarily, but sarcastic.
Yeah,
And I'm a word of this thesaurus, not the dictionary, Carl. So bear with me. Uh,
I got you.
but I do when I do that. So it's a mix. Everybody always tells me like that I'm pretty funny. I'm not even trying to be funny, right? Like if I'm being sarcastic, it's because I've tried to make a point and you skirted over it, kind of thing. So I'm like using my humor a little bit to like make the point. But I also do that from a defense mechanism. That's not me being unapologetically me. That's just me trying to hammer my point across when I feel like I haven't been heard. And so I think that's a huge thing to like bring up because yes, it is part of who I am. I've been conditioned to be that way. And I do get defensive sometimes when I feel silenced. But these days, sorry, not sorry, right? I am not going to cower in who I am. I'm not going to, we were just talking about this a little bit earlier on a totally different topic, but I'm not going to recoil or stay in fear for something that might happen or something that I've done and be afraid of somebody else's like backlash or responses to who I am. And so now that I know who I am, I'm just going to own the crap out of that because I have something to say, God damn it. And you're not going to keep me silent. Excuse my language, but like, I
Oh, I'm
mean, we've
loving
got some
it.
amazing people here with us today. I see everybody tuning in. I'm just not going to keep quiet anymore. And why should I? So I'm here for this conversation. I am here to be unapologetically me. And I bring
Love
all the
it.
things to that Shell station, right?
Love it. And I always say, don't apologize for cussing. I cuss like a sailor, so I've been
Oh,
pretty
well,
nice.
this
I've
is a
been pretty
family show.
good.
This is a family
It's
show.
a family show, but reality's reality, unapologetically. However, I
See how you
never
married
see
that together? See, with
hush up, hush up.
being bad to unapologetic. See,
Okay,
No,
but
but
you could cuss
I
like a
never
sailor because Shell Station is founded on the sea and the ocean. So, I
right?
mean, look at my branding. We got the lighthouse. Like it works. It
I'm
fits
getting.
here.
For all of you all watching, this is a
But
public service announcement. I think I'm getting double teamed right now.
but no, I think too people shy away from language, right? They feel like, oh, you curse because you can't find other words. Technically not really. Sometimes those are the best words to just fit the scenario, fit the situation that you're in or talking about. But you don't have to cuss in a string of terms because you can't figure out another clever way to do things as well. So it's always the way it's approached, the way you're doing it, that becomes that unapologetically this is how you roll. But so I just said that out so you don't, I don't want you to feel like you have to apologize for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what?
I said you're
but
good.
I but I wanted to definitely ask you, Shell, tell us a little bit about, when you see that you started out on your journey, what really made you start to stand your ground, 10 toes down in who you are, and not feel like you had to apologize for being you and I guess quiver or be in the shadows. What made you really step into that?
Ooh, yeah, as you were saying that, like I kind of got chills a little bit, and I don't know if you visibly saw me take a deep breath. Like I'm just mentally, whole body preparing for this response right now. Um, it really came from a place of burnout, like full, complete mental, physical, emotional burnout. I was in a job for 13 years, um, where I was doing all the things all the time for everybody, no breaks. I was on 24/7 and I was asking for help all the time. Like I recognized that I could not keep doing it at this pace, at this rate, at this high quality level. And I was asking for help. I was getting physically sick. I was so mentally like burnt out, and like mental health is definitely a very serious issue that people skate through or overlook. And I was asking for help and I was getting shot down. And people were just kept telling me, just keep doing it. You just power through. It'll be okay. Things will get better. This is just how it is. All the things people tell you, all the things that they think you want to hear. And when you're a people pleaser, as I am now in recovery, but I still struggle with it. When you're a people pleaser and you just want everybody to like you and be okay and like continue doing the good work and be recognized for it, um, it's easy to take what people are saying, like the keep pushing through, as like the confirmation that this is what I need to keep doing. But I was actively speaking up and saying, I need help. I need help taking this off my plate. I need help doing more of these things so that I'm not doing all of it and bearing the brunt of it. I need help physically. I am breaking down. Help. And there's only so long that you can bang your head against that wall. And so I got to a breaking point and I was just like, that's where Operation Separation came from. Let's be on fully real here. That's where Operation Separation came from. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, right, Carl? Like that was something we talked about 2 weeks ago when I had you on the show. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired and knew I just could not keep going like that. And I put my foot down and I took 2 weeks off, didn't tell anybody that I was doing it, not even my family knew. And I said, if I can just even be a little bit better, be a little bit more whole, get back, feel a little bit more rested, separate myself from everything that's going on here, then I will be okay. I can transform my life. I can transform how people see me and I can start fresh. And this wasn't the first time I had separated myself from a situation, but it was the first time that it really like stuck and meant something in like transformational in my life. And so I just became unapologetic in what I was asking for and what I needed in order to move forward. And people pleasing needed to take a back seat. And boundaries were inserted and held. And I just could not keep doing it. I had to speak up and I had to get my voice heard. I just had to. There was no other way.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's because a lot of times when you on that burnout city, and it's so many of us that have really rode or lived or took a residence in that city and had no idea we were there because everything was so normalized. And I think with the pandemic and us able to kind of exhale, I think a lot of us realize, yo, I am doing a lot. I think a lot of us get to like, because we are so normalized all the things we were doing, all the things we wanted to put out, all the people we wanted to be there for, all the stuff we wanted to try to accomplish, the goals that we had, and we was continuously just running in that area of just I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do this, and I was just looking at it, and a lot of people have. I think it just came to the realization that yo, I'm not really living like this. Like I'm not. How am I sustaining this? That's when I took a breath and saw. Even now, I do a lot of other things, but I do them now with a joy and an ease than before the pandemic. Before the pandemic, I can actually say and be truthful with those that's watching, and you may even be in the same stead. Before the pandemic, there seemed to have been a pressure to be doing a lot of things, to be within competition, though we never probably never said it, but to be in competition with so many others that was in our fields or was in our genres or occupations, try to keep up with sort of like a quietness of trying to keep up with the Joneses. I got to do this because this one is elevating and I need to get there. And I think looking at the pandemic, it gave me an opportunity to look at other things in my life. Say, I'm pretty good. I can slow down on some of this other stuff that is burning me out 60 and 70-hour weeks, thinking that's okay to do because everyone else is doing it. And I think you came to a great realization, and all of us don't come to that. Some people, it takes tremendous breakdown, it may be in health, in situations, in losing things that you gain in order for them to realize that. And it's an awesome job that you realized that at that point of where you were.
Yeah, I mean, I was broken for all intents and purposes. I was broken, and there was just no other alternative but to like be a better version of me, not for anybody else. And I think I've always had this in me. I think it goes back in like to childhood, and it was silenced. In fact, I know it was. I don't think I know. I was silenced because I was always asking questions. I wanted to explore. I wanted to know more. I'm a lifelong learner, so I always want to learn how to do things better. And I do appreciate feedback, not criticism, feedback. Like I'm okay learning how to do something a better way. My way is never going to be everybody's way, and it's not always going to be the best way. If somebody can show me how to do something better and improve, I take that as feedback, as opposed to, well, you did this wrong, why didn't you do it better, why didn't you know how to do it better? That comes off very harshly, and I uh, silenced myself for a really long time. So now that the reverse has happened, and now that I'm speaking up and advocating for myself and advocating for others to do the same, it's really like it's such an unapologetic platform to do that. Let's throw the words back in there, right? Um, I want to amplify everybody else's voice too, because people are going through these things and staying silent on them for far too long. No matter what those things are that you're going through, that whatever it is, speak up, because what's the cost of you if you don't?
Right. And we have a question that came in with Michael. He said, if burnout is common and people continue to leave employers in droves, what will the catalyst be for employers to do better? And I have an idea. I want to definitely get your intake on this. But we have Linda who dropped in the consortium model. I'm not sure if you guys are more familiar with that. I I think it sounds like teamwork when I researched it a little bit. It sounds like, if employers implement the foundation or the concept of how to work and get the best people together to deliver certain aspects of what their jobs are. Just let me know if that sounds what you guys think that is, or better yet, just what a response to Michael would be.
Yeah, I'll jump in right here because I do know what Linda's talking about. So actually, go check out Terry Earthwind Nichols. He's the one who has come up with this consortium model, um, and it is a different way of businesses connecting with each other and taking care of their employees and making sure that everyone is just where they need to be and being people, being humans. And I think to answer Michael's question about burnout, what's the catalyst for employers to do better? It's checking in with your employees. How can I support you? And that support isn't going to be the same across the board. So maybe some employees need like validation and encouragement regularly. I definitely am somebody that, like, all right, it's not my home place, like my personal love language, but in work, like, you can't always show love in a certain way. So I do like appreciation and validation. I want to know that I'm doing well, and as opposed to telling me all the things that I'm doing wrong and why I didn't know any better. Like, I want the positivity. That's what everybody, I think, wants, more and more positivity in their life. But some people at work need different things. Some people want like better benefits. Like some people like want more like flexibility in their work life balance. And some people, what's going to work better for some isn't going to work better for others. So I think asking your employees, how can I support you? And actually being open to some conversation around what that looks like for each individual employee is really important, because it's not going to look the same for everybody.
Right, because for me, it's always follow through. Because I've seen the initiatives, I've seen, hey, let's all log into all these different portals and let's do all this, these surveys and all this paperwork, to say let's dig deep and we're touching base with you. But then when it really comes down to implementing, it's almost like it's a dream, right? The implementations never go well or the follow through isn't there. So even if there's some type of failure along the way, it's never really there to fix it. It's just like, we have it in place, we're good, let's move forward. You can't, that to me, that's never it's not realistic and it's not truthful and it's not being honest about, okay, we do have people who are burnt out, we really need to step this up, we need to start getting other people acclimated to taking over, stepping in, being that team, where not just one person is the knowledge keeper, but or the person who can carry out the work, but we actually have six other people who can help out. We don't have to keep asking you, do you need help? Six people will see all of this work coming in, and six people will take on the responsibility, because that's where the accountability, I think, falls through the
Yeah.
cracks. You don't have accountability to say, okay, all six of you, how much work came in? How much did you guys really do as individuals? That way you don't have one person saying, oh my God, I'm burnt out, I got so much on my plate, because you have backups. And it's not backups meaning, oh, when you're done or when you're on vacation, I'll step in. No, when you all see the work coming in, okay, I could take six. Oh, I saw you responded to 4 emails, I'll take the other four or whatever. It's like you have to pretty much tell people what to do, but this is your job. You should know, hey, we're a team. Let's just step in. So I think that's, for me, a lot of it is the follow through. We're not getting that. We're not getting people to really actually take action and hold others accountable for not stepping up as a team.
Yeah, that's so true. Whew, where do I even respond to that first? Because I have so many thoughts coming in. Um, when you're talking about the accountability, I think this is also where, like, sometimes, I'm not saying across the board all the time, uh, sometimes This is where like gaslighting and narcissistic tendencies can rear their ugly heads in leadership, because sometimes even if you do recognize that things are going wrong and employees need help, you say what you think they want to hear just to get forward to the next thing. And then the lack of follow through is, well, they didn't actually have any plans to implement that. Or they tell you that, oh, we never promised that, like we, like, and they turn it around as if it never happened. And I've definitely been on the brunt of that, of like being promised things and changes and then them never happening, which only burnt me out even more because, as Michael said, yeah, the work just kept piling on. It happens. People are not good at taking accountability for the things that they say they're going to do, and that really needs to change. And how do we change it? That's a little bit trickier. That's more like baby steps, because especially when change is needed, you still can't expect it to happen overnight. So maybe like sit down with your employees and see what small thing can change right now. Like what's most critical that you need the most help with right now. Where can we put our resources here to help you? And I think doing that across the board may be a little bit trickier, but I think it's doable if we can take the baby steps, the baby actions to keep moving forward and in the right direction at least.
I I normally ever do I agree to that. I agree to some extent, and also disagree to some extent. And then when I say disagree, I don't mean it as the way that it's labeled. Um, it working in so many other Fortune 100 companies that I've worked in. I think I put in there consistency is not in theory; it's in accountability. Leaders have uh, the innate opportunity to enforce things equitably, and it never happens. The accountability does come in instances, in circumstances, in situations. It's never a platform of across the board of how it shouldn't be. Leaders, and this is why I get so like enamored with leaders because they talk about the things that they can't do, but the power of things they can do, they don't consistently do. Because if I'm coming to you and it's in my bylaws what needs to be done, I, as a leader, need to carry that out. Now, do I take into consideration circumstances and situations? Absolutely. But there's been so much a graphic, so to speak, up and down, high and low, when I will, when I want, if they're my friend, if they're not. I like them, I don't like you. When you have all of those in, the narcissistic system does come into play because now I'm God and not a leader. I can disrupt you and how you work, and I can make this unpleasant. And that's a dichotomy that we're dealing with in every single level, from jails to politics to the judicial system. Everything is not equitably done. But accountability also it falls on us leaders to consistently say, okay, this is where the bar is, guys. And if you're not meeting this bar, I do have resources to help you if you want to meet it. If you don't want to meet it, I do have plans to get you out of the position you're in. And I think we have to stand on those firmities. And when other people see that you're standing on what you say, because I think someone has said it back in the comments about when they stand up. I think it was Christina said it. When you stand, like when people see you stand for something, of course it's not going to be like right then because they're looking for wishy-washy people. They're looking for people to be sun some days, wind some days, rain tomorrow. But when you stand on things, there's a respect level there that can't be moved. I don't care who you're dealing with. People gonna say, I don't deal with him because I know this is what he do. Now they may not like you and they may talk all kind of things about you, but that respect keeps the level there where everyone else sees that I can't be bought. And when we have that, like you said, those baby steps, we have been taking those baby steps for so many years. That's why people are so frustrated. That's why this great resignation is such at a height. People are tired of the baby steps without inconsistency. They're tired of telling
Yeah.
you, we put in your suggestions and we don't follow through. And you hit the nail on the head, and I'll give it back to you, Shell. You said the prime thing. There was no plans to follow through. So that's why there is no follow through.
Yeah.
because I'm just accommodating you through words, what I think will move you to action. So if I could say to you, you come down to HR, oh, I don't like this. Can we implement this? Sure, sure, sure. I'll see what the CEO says about it. And you go out feeling happy. They ain't got no plan to do nothing with what you just said. The recruiters got a famous word for it. They call it file 13. Did you get my resume? Yes, at file 13. Where's file 13? The trash can. Because that's about as far as it's moving.
It's the suggestion box, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yes.
and I love that because with that being said, it also shows that they didn't really not that they didn't put any forethought in it, but like, are you really dedicated to these changes? If
Mhm.
you're not putting the plans for implementation, then what's the purpose of saying, oh, we have this initiative? And I think that's how they kind of keep that slow wheel churning is, oh, I got a new initiative. Oh, I got a new initiative. So they start things and never finish. So not only are you frustrating your employees, you put them in a place of bitterness, and they find like everything that comes in their inbox, they either don't even read it, they find that you're being disingenuous, or they too don't put any effort in because they already know you're going to falter in like 3 months, or this is just until you get a new idea or somebody, especially when management changes so often, then it's like, oh, okay, this manager is leaving, or this VP is leaving, so whatever initiatives they put forth is not even going to be followed through because it's not embedded in the company's culture. It's not something that the company's like, you know what, this is something we have to see through. We see that part where in football, they're now putting another initiative through, saying you have to hire minorities and women in these roles, and you have this amount of time. So it's like, okay, so first of all, you already put some rule called Rudy rule. I'm not a sports person. Please miss me with all the
No,
commentary. I
no,
really don't care.
you
But
getting it. You were on it. That's why I'm laughing. I'm not laughing because you're not
okay.
on it. I'm
No,
laughing because
I'm
you were
just
Like,
putting
hitting it.
how
that.
many times do we need to see these same initiatives before?
Right.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I'm just putting that disclaimer for because I'm only hearing it through tidbits from the news because I don't dig deep, because I already feel like the industry of sports is the same as entertainment, as corporate. They're all doing the same foolishness. They just have different titles for it. So with this Rudy rule, you were supposed to implement new people, no matter what it is. You're supposed to have no discrimination in how you bring people into the organization. Then that wasn't followed through, of course, with ownership, with management. So now they put another initiative in. A few women slipped through, but also they were white women. So now you have a lot of the black men, of former players who were trying to get in as coaches or as higher ups. They weren't getting picked. And then, of course, now you had this colossal fumble by coaches who
I
were
like that. Fumble.
congratulating the wrong guy
I caught that.
before that guy even had an interview, and they were like, oh no, no, that's not what we were doing. I was like, oh my god. like so because of that fallout, now they're putting in two new initiatives, and one of them that I just heard about this morning is, oh, wait a minute, now we are going to force you to hire minorities and women. And we all know how that is. A lot of times that doesn't go down well, because just like where the entire United States was forced to actually acknowledge amazing black candidates into certain positions, now it was, oh, you were only hired because we needed the numbers. So isn't that going to be the same thing in the sports arena, especially for football? Like, so it's like, stop forcing people to do what you see the culture is not embracing. Something is wrong with the culture. And it's the same thing with corporate. Stop it with the foolishness of all of these initiatives and change the culture. We talk about that all the time. So I think that's where being unapologetically you comes in, because as employees, we're always told to, oh, well, not always, but now we're being told to Do personal branding, talk about yourself in meetings, brag about yourself on these projects that you're on. But the culture has not changed. So what's the point of that, especially if you're trying to be unapologetically you and you still have the top-notch people looking down on that, frowning on that, or blocking you regardless, even if they're like, oh, this is great, or they give those same characteristics that you're proud of being, and they're giving that to someone else who may not really be like that, but they, because they just comfortable with that person, and they're like, oh yes, this is what's going on and this person is amazing, and then when you look at the back end, they're like, well, the person really doesn't put forth anything long term. They just started like 2 months ago and now they're getting promoted and celebrated. Like, what's really happening? So I think that's, for me, that's a lot of the where the frustration comes in. There's no genuineness in the culture, so every other initiative never, it follows through. It always fails.
Yeah, and something that you're saying about like bragging on the things that you're working on, and taking, if especially if you're trying to grow into a role, grow into a position with a specific company or just in the industry and you're within your expertise. um and and this happens in career searching all the time, like career transitions and job searches. um People don't know how to brag about themselves when it comes to like their resume or their LinkedIn profile or how they show up. And it's because we're taught not to. We're taught not to brag about the good work that we're doing, especially when so often we see other people taking credit for our work. And so if you're trying to get a seat at the table or on the field or on the stage, whatever your platform and environment is, like if you constantly see other people taking credit for your hard work, like when is enough? Like it is very frustrating when you want to say, hey, yeah, here's what I've been working on, and then somebody else is like, no, like over here we've been doing that, and we'll take credit for that kind of thing. And of course, I'm paraphrasing because that's not exactly how they're going to say it. But like, no, whether it's a manager or another person on your team or somebody in a completely different department, or like somebody else is trying to steal your shine, and then you just lost whatever little bit of power you were trying to assert by saying, no, I've been doing good work and I need to get recognized for it. So yeah, it's very disheartening to like see it, and it's frustrating for people who are watching it and know that what that person is capable, and it's frustrating for the person who's going through it.
And
Right. And
it's real. So many. I can't imagine. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've trained people to take jobs that I was vying for. That I
mhm.
had to train. I had to be paid to be trained to teach them what I wanted to do, what I already knew how to do, what I could have been good at doing, for have someone else replace me. Not only replace me, but the slap in the face of me actually training that person to do that job. How many times have we been sat into that? And I've had places where I think the unveiling is where we have to get our power in. Sheila said something about we get to the point of where we don't want to share those things. Because yes, I've told people stuff I had. Stuff I've done it here on this platform. I've shared with people and I've seen them take what I've shared with them and create things. I'm not angry, never was, never will be, because I'm a creator. It'll come back. But I look at things, and sometimes I'll call people on the carpet. I've been in meeting rooms, and you guys know I don't play with certain things. And someone has came up and just held their hand up and said what I said in a conversation as what we should be doing, and they kind of put that thing in a little bow and like it was their idea. I've got up on numerous occasions. I don't let it ride. And some people like, and some people know I'm about to do it. They be elbowing me at the conference room saying, "I'll say that, man." I'm like, no, we just talked about that in the lunchroom, and I just put this format together, and he gonna come here and present it like he been working on this all night, and gonna present it at the meeting, right? I get right up behind him. Yo, we were just talking about that in the lunchroom. I can tell you more specifically because it was my idea. Right? Yeah, of course they always say me the angry black guy. Yeah, I know. I'm good with it. they they label me that. But the simple fact is, sometimes I think we've coddled a lot of these situations for far too many times, and then we get the understanding of why people are angry. Not just African Americans, anyone. When you're steadily taking advantage of people, there's going to be some resentment and anger, and after that resentment and anger comes, there's going to be some retaliatory action. Now, how that comes about, it's not always good and it's not always advised. But if you keep pushing it down, like my grandma would say, baby, don't run the cat in the corner. Because after a while, the cat ain't going to stay in the corner. The cat going to come out the corner and you going to let it out because it's going to do something to
It's
you
gonna
that you,
scratch.
that's it. So a lot of times we do these things and we can't be unapologetic to you because we get labeled for it. I mean, I'm not going to even go into the Will Smith debacle on the TV. You know, some people say it was a grand gesture of love for his wife and what she's going through. And some people said they should throw him out in handcuffs because he's assaulted this man. You know, I don't know where you lie on that. I have my own perspectives. Definitely will not share them here. But I think there are things and places where people get fed up. And what that looks like to everybody is totally different. But you can
Yeah.
always be unapologetically you in being who you are. And I think we lose the semblance of who we are based upon so much things society says we should be, and we lose touch with who we are as individuals, as our value, as our difference being what makes us the catalyst for things being the way they are. Me being different from you makes our world great. It makes it great. I can take another car, so I know you can't. So I love that people are different and people enjoy that differentness. But when are we going to start taking stake in the value that they bring for being different?
Yeah. And it's also with the corporate. Like
Yes.
unfortunately for black women, black people in general, our appearance was used against us a lot of times. And more often than not, it was a mixture. It was a mixture between, it was just built into the race factor, but the
Mm,
appearance was just another category for them to check off that box of why not to hire you. And like my hairstyle would have been one. Locks, most people call them dreadlocks, but locks would have been another.
mm,
Afros was another. They used it to say you looked unkempt, and I'm sure a lot of the younger people too. I know around the hippie times, if you were a male with long hair, they said you looked unkempt. They always tried to find a way to take away your individualism, to take away who you were, and sometimes that we express ourselves outwardly as well, not just the way we behave, but how we look. So part of that is now starting to come into your own, owning yourself from every aspect, and then bringing that into meetings. So, I would say code switching for a lot of us is we speak one way in one
yeah.
community or one situation, and then we now change up how we talk because we feel like, oh, you're not going to, or you're going to look down on us, or you won't give us those opportunities. And we have to understand that we don't need to do that anymore. We shouldn't have to do that. And a lot of that, it becomes part of how do we really address this and push it forward? How do we call each other to the carpet to say, you know what, I think this candidate is great? Because if we turned off all the cameras, if we just blocked it out and just listened to how the person is thinking, because a lot of times that's how we express ourselves too, is if you can think yourself out of a situation, out of a dilemma, and that should be a bonus for a company, right? Not something that's against you because, oh, wait a minute, the person it's coming from, we feel uncomfortable, but we like the idea, we just need the idea to come from somebody else, type situation. How have you seen that play out, or what do you think can be a better way for all of us to address a situation like that?
Uh, so yeah, let me dial this back for just a second. Um, I love that idea of like removing, putting the blinders on. Actually, like what came to mind for me is like, I don't know if you've watched Love Is Blind. If you've watched that reality show, I'm a big fan of reality TV because it just is mindless television that I can just have on in the background but still be invested. But like They literally are meeting people through a wall. You cannot see them. You are removing what you think about them based on their appearance and how they present themselves, and you are just meeting them and interacting with them through this wall, blind, pretty much. Like, you are hearing them, you are getting to know them, and you're making hopefully genuine connections, right? And if only that could be that way in the workforce.
Mm.
If you could remove all the biases that people judge each other and ourselves, and that we judge ourselves on, in the workplace, and just meet people for what they bring to the table. Where are your strengths? What can you do really well? Where would you fit on my team if I was to hire you? Like, what role can you do really well that we are in need of? Everything else becomes irrelevant because we are bringing the our strengths together for the greater good, for for a common goal. Dream work makes the teamwork, right? I'm gonna throw that in there. I wanted to say it earlier and it came back around. Um, but yeah, like, if we can put the blinders on a little bit and remove that judgment that we are so quick to attribute to other people, it will make the hiring process and working with each other that much better, that much more of a better experience.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
agree. I
definitely will.
agree.
I definitely, and I love that aspect of that because a lot of people say that in the essence of saying the word, the phrase, I don't see color or I don't see differences. And that's furthest from the truth. I kind of like can get into what you're trying to mean by that. But I want you to see color. I want you to see differences because that's what makes us special. I don't want you to ostracize because of difference. I want you to include because of difference. And I think this is where the blinder aspect really could do us a lot of good. Like, can you imagine how beautiful you see? And I think Linda had said something about it, how the soul can make connection based upon
Yeah.
not being visual. How I can feel with you because we got a whole lot of other senses, y'all. We don't use them. We create everything we want to be known by sight.
Hmm.
I'm a judge everything I see, right? Do you judge stuff you smell besides stink and smell good, right? Do you put it in all these categories by things you touch and feel? Yes, you do. So why would we just judge our negativeness on what we see? Because a lot of times it comes out and it comes to formation when we act on that, because we act on the judgment of things we see. And it shouldn't be. I think that we connect to the soul. That's really what it's about. Our
Yeah.
differences
Hmm.
is our power, and I can't say it no better than that.
And I think the differences that we each have bring something new and different, for lack of a
Yeah.
better word at the moment, different to the table. Like, we all can bring something different to the table through our differences, that people that are the same, that look the same or dress the same or act the same, that they might all show up the same way, and that becomes boring and repetitive, and that's where we fall into that trap of nothing changing. But if we can
Mm.
have a such a more diverse environment and culture, from all aspects of life, we bring with us our experiences, our background, the things that we might have learned that you didn't, the things that I grew up with that you haven't been privy to, like the and it comes from so many different sources. So it
Hmm.
just creates a whole different perspective about what can be done, what could be done differently, and what we can build together. And I think that's where the collaboration comes in too, because Carl, you were talking about earlier, like, why do we need to be in competition with each other?
Mm.
Even if somebody were to take my words and, like, you give me credit for it, like, at least say where you got it, like, at least
Yeah.
name the source. Like, I just made some graphics for you, like for us to share, like,
Mhm.
a few weeks ago. I'm not taking your words and owning them as my own. I am absolutely putting it out there and giving you credit, because what we're doing together is bigger than either of us separately. And so the power of collaboration outweighs any of that competition.
Yes, and she does also. job too, if I must say so myself, on those awesome graphics and those
Oh,
awesome and those awesome flyers and things that she made. I had a wonderful time talking with Shell. You guys got to connect with Shell. Most definitely, she is tremendous. She's doing a wonderful, wonderful job. I'm loving what she's doing. Loving the heart that she has. I don't connect with a lot of people, and I know you may read my profile and say, "Oh man, you got a lot of people following you." Yeah, I do. I have a lot of people, but I don't connect with a lot of people, and that's the term that I like to use because connection to me is not networking. Networking to me is just handing out what I do. Connections to me is just who we are, and that's what I love to learn about people, who we are, because I think that's going to move us forward. Because I can find a million people doing what I'm doing. It's already a billion coaches. It's already a billion consultants. So I'm not going to be that, but they're not going to all connect with you, and they're not going to all
Mm.
be who you are. And she's someone that really do, like Linda says, soul to soul connects with you. She can understand you and vibe with you, and that's how she can be unapologetically her. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Who else could be a shell station? Like who else? Who else could be a shell station?
Besides the gas station, and that's
Besides
totally
the
awesome.
gas station, and we don't give them any credit anymore. It's all you now. It's all you. It's all you.
Yes. And I just want to make sure that everybody remembers this is our year for taking action.
Yeah.
So I want you to do that. Take action. That's why we are mentioning Shell. We're mentioning connecting with her. We're mentioning connecting properly with each other because that's how we really build a network that you can depend on and a network that you understand what do we all bring to each other's tables. And then how can we support each other as a community? That's what community will do. It's easy to say, oh, you know what? I know so and so for you. I know I can connect you with because you're taking the time to get to know them. It's not just always about sharing a link. It's about understanding what is it that this person does. And sometimes we might say we're consultants, but there might be something else that we really have a passion for and we haven't talked about it. So we get to understand that and find that out through conversations. So I just wanted to make sure that I said that. Take action, get to know her. She's awesome. Follow what she's
Love you guys.
doing and make sure that you are staying connected with each other as well.
Oh my gosh, this has been such a great conversation today. Oh wow. Whew. We didn't even like dive into the branding because like your name is just calling out to me, the brand misfit. We didn't even dive in on that. Like
Yeah, she is a
there's like a whole other
misfit.
conversation that we need to have.
Yes.
Yes.
Live or behind the scenes. Like I just want to dive in more on that.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
both
she, she is she
yeah.
is a fascinating person. I know a lot of people know our stories, but yes, I have unleashed the beast, so to speak.
Yes, he has.
So before I got pre Charlene and post Charlene, and pre Charlene was not what you see now. So I'm
I've
just
been
so
sharing
happy to
those
be a part
videos.
of
I've
that.
been sharing those videos because I
Yes.
was, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be a part of that. There's another point of transformation that you have to make for people, and it's not even about taking credit for it because it was already there with her, and it's all, and she is living proof that it's already there with all of us. We just have to meet that right person. I think I made a post on my Instagram the other day. The right people coming into your life for the right reasons at the right seasons, and they're there to push you. And all the time, we want people to stay in our lives to stay there perpetually, and they're not there for that. They come into that point in time that they're to be used, push you, exalt you, propel you, whatever term you want to use. But they're there for that, and they're there to encourage you to move that. And we have to take advantage of those points because a lot of times we let them pass by, and those people are gone. He's like, I remember they was trying to get me to do that. That was the season they was there for you to do that in. And I'm so glad she took advantage of that season. And now ain't no stopping her now. Ain't no stopping her now. She on here more than I am. I thought I was trying to be Steve Harvey of LinkedIn. She on here more than I am.
Okay, the Steve Harvey of LinkedIn. Yeah, I have always said that that my goal is to be the the Betty White of career coaching. The Betty.
Yeah, Betty been around a long
Like I
time.
come with a little
She
bit of the
was.
humor, but like also I'm here to serve a purpose. So
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that. Yes,
Absolutely.
Betty White. Okay.
yeah,
I gotta
making
find
connections.
And
somebody.
she got
all
that
the
sense of
way.
humor like Betty White too. So she right on point with that. She got that sarcastic just like Betty White too. So
Oh my
guys, we
God.
thank you guys for showing up. So many people showed up to us today. We appreciate you as always. All of our viewers that watch us over across the pond. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. All of our American people that tune us in from state to state. We had somebody in here from Uganda this morning. We appreciate you. They was checking in with us. It was 5 something in the AM over there. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate you coming. We appreciate you showing up. Please look on the screen. You see the podcast, YouTube. Please go subscribe. Go check out our LinkedIn page as well. We're trying to do big things here. And we also just popped up on IG. So we trying to get it live. This is not nothing that we just put together so we can have something to talk about. This is something that we're creating that's going to be a manifestation of us sharing value with so many people that we have on that brings so many tidbits of value to you every single day. And we got it on the website as well. So go back, check out episodes that you hadn't seen before. We're coming up on our year anniversary. I don't even know how many shows we got. We don't do the show counts. We don't do the EPs episode. We just have a good time because it's real talk, right? It's real talk. So we got a lot of episodes that you have missed or you haven't seen. You got an opportunity to go check those out on the website, realtalklivepodcast.com. Also, you can go in there and book. If you would like to be on the show, if you want someone to know what you're doing, if you want to show your value, your excellence, what you're providing to the community, go on there, book it in. We get you in. It's easy. Pick a date that's available for you. We don't force you. Pick a date that's good for you. Come on, we chat with you. That's what we do. That's how we get the wonderful Shell on here. And for all of you guys, we love ya.
And for all the hangups for like if you've been not taking action, let me just like drop this in because I'm plugging you. So yeah, the process is so easy to become a speaker on the show with them. Like they have it all streamlined and figured out. Like they have the questions. You load in your picture, your documents. Like as soon as you click to like submit that, the link to join Restream here is already generated for you. You got the email reminders, the calendar updates, like all the things. They couldn't have made the process any easier if they had even wanted to. Like there is no reason that you should not be taking action on this right now. Like we're talking about taking action and like taking action now. Like when's the time? When's the season? It is now. Do not sleep on it.
That's what I'm talking about for all those people who said it was so difficult for us to book. I'm glad. No, we did not pay her to say those things. This was not a paid advertisement.
This is not a paid advertisement.
But I'll tell you, you'd be surprised how many people told us it's so hard to book the show.
My OCD came through.
Yes, I can't. Charlene has put this thing together that
like
even a 5-year-old can do it. I'm telling you, I just love working with her. She got everything so systematically, and it alleviates me doing all of these follow-ups and check-ins and all of that kind of stuff. Because Lord knows, trying to do a show and produce a show, it gets to be a lot. So everything that she's put in place to streamline this, these links where you can go, they're readable, they're legible, they know where they're going, they send you to where you need to go. We put everything there. I'm not gonna repeat that endorsement. Girlfriend, you did a good job. We gotta have Shell on again. Shell Station.
Well, you already know. Like before we even started the show, I was like, okay, so what other episode can we bring her on?
Yeah, we're gonna bring her on there some branding.
I think we just like named like 3 or 4 topics in today alone that we could come back for. Yeah,
I want her to bring. We're gonna definitely bring her back on for that branding piece. Because when she told me the story about the shell, the oceans, the sea, I was like taking away how the thought process went with that. Me, I was just branding. I pick a couple colors I like, and she went into this like journey, and like I so love it. So she's definitely got to come back on, talk some more about that. And you brand guys, I'll sit back and listen because I'm not a brand guy. I start with it, but you get the brand Misfit and Shell. Once they get together, they probably have some tremendous stuff. But we look forward to the next episode, guys.
We'll put you in the hot seat for that one, Carl.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll be warm.
We'll make him the case study. We'll make him the case study.
I don't mind. It's all for good.
It's all with love. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we will catch you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday. Have a great one, guys.
Talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it. Real talk with Carl and Charlene. Real talk for the real world. Let's get it.